अव्वल शब बज़्म की रौनक शम्मा भी थी परवाना भी। अव्वल शब बज़्म की रौनक शम्मा भी थी परवाना भी। सुबह के होते होते आखिर खत्म हुआ अफसाना भी। अव्वल शब बज़्म की रौनक शम्मा भी थी परवाना भी। हुस्न और इश्क की लाग में अक्सर छेड़ उधर से होती है। शम्मा का शोला जब लहराया उड़ के चला परवाना भी। शम्मा का शोला जब लहराया उड़ के चला परवाना भी। झूम के किसने सागर पटका मौसम की बेकैफी पर। झूम के किसने सागर पटका मौसम की बेकैफी पर। टूट के इतना बरसे बादल डूब चला मैं खाना भी। टूट के इतना बरसे बादल डूब चला मैं खाना भी। दौरे मसरत आरज़ू अपना दौरे मसरत आरज़ू अपना कैसा ज़लज़ला आबी का। हाथ से मुँह तक आते आते हाथ से मुँह तक आते आते छूट चला पैमाना भी। अव्वल शब वो बज़्म की रौनक शम्मा भी थी परवाना भी, सुबह के होते होते आखिर खत्म हुआ अफसाना भी। अव्वल शब वो बज़्म की रौनक, शम्मा भी थी परवाना भी।
Love, romance, amour, that all was part of a performance. The art of a woman. This one composition talked about a romance, a night of a dalliance between a man and a woman. There were a section of women artists, and I'm talking about almost 200 years back, which were largely known as the tawayafs or the courtesans. They performed the art of amour, love, romance. And we, in a way, shamed them for doing that. What is our Hindi film industry today? Bollywood sells romance. Bollywood sells amour. We are comfortable with the idea of a film actress depicting that. But we are not comfortable with the idea of a tawayaf depicting that. We today have created two different standards for women. Now, when I talk about the art of this woman, the courtesan, this is a deliberately dead performing art. We have killed it. Now, what happened during the generations? We liked the anarkali that the courtesan wore, so the market is flooded with the anarkalis. We liked the jhumar that the courtesans wore. The weddings are flooded with the, the jewelry. We liked certain, the farshi pajamas that they wore. You see, India is flooded with farshi pajamas. We liked ghazal, what they performed. Today you have innumerable ghazal artists and you have ghazals in Bollywood films. They performed thumri, we liked thumri, so we took that. So from that one woman who performed a certain art, we took this bit, that bit, that bit, that bit, that bit. We've taken everything, snatched it from her, and never given the credit to her. We've always said, oh, they are the fallen women. Where in this framework does that aspect come from? When we talk about art, the first thing that, comes to the mind is that art is minus gender. The art should be first. The performer who's performing that, whether it's a man or a woman, should be the secondary aspect. That cannot be the first aspect, because art is art itself. It is open to both genders equally. Somewhere in our own mindsets, we've not questioned those things, and there has been a huge, discrimination in terms of gender for the artists. So what happened? When we look back to those times, and I'm not looking back very back, I'm just looking back about 100, 200 years back, which is a well memorized history. What did we do? The society, we did not have concert halls where the performances could be held. We did not have films. We did not have multimedia. Barely 100 years back, we had the recordings, the gramophone recordings. Before that, we did not have that either. So what was entertainment? It was an actual live singing and dancing. Now, when we look back at that time, there was no government patronage. There were no concert halls. Where would a performance happen? The special performances, like we have today, that I would proudly say, oh, I have performed at the President's House, I have performed at the Parliament House. Now, it's a sense of pride for me today to say that. The similar was then. The patronage was the Maharaja or the Nawab. So the artist would actually perform in that space, and that was a sense of pride. When I say 200 years back, or during that time, even 100 years back, both men and women were pursuing arts. So when we had women singing Thumri, Dadra, Ghazal, we had men singing that too. We had women dancing Kathak. We had men, I'm not touching the southern India, my subject is more northern India. So we had women doing Kathak, but we had men doing Kathak too. Similar spaces. The men were dancing in the courts of the Nawabs, the women were dancing in the courts of the Nawab. What did we do? We made the men into the ustads and the women into the naach girls. वो तो नाचने वाली है और वो उस्ताद हैं. They are doing exactly the same thing. So now when we look at how even our recent history has shaped up, it has shaped up very differently. Because if you see, it has been written by patriarchy. Women were not writing histories. It was usually the men who were writing the chronicles. So obviously it was a male perspective. There are instances where, in my research I found that a very celebrated Inayat Bai Derovali, she was people don't even know her name, very celebrated tawaif of her times. Her accompanist was Ustad Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab. Now from my mind, if you see, that woman must have been such a brilliant artist to have Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab as her accompanist. See, if I am performing today, I do not have Zakir Hussain as my accompanist. There's a certain caliber of artist that you have. So I openly say, Zakir Hussain cannot be my accompanist. He's way ahead than what I am. Now, so to have that, but do we know the name of that woman? We do not. We've wiped her out from the performing arts history because there was a sudden change of the time. These princely states were annexed, so the patronage went off. They did not know where to go. There was nobody who made a bridge for these women because they did not count. But we did not have agencies or support systems that could have made those inroads and bridges to get these people into the same format. So what happens is, now what you saw a performance, it was a very intimate performance. So the words, the rag, the movements, everything is structured to create a certain impact. Now that impact was largely when it was the courtesans or the tawaifs, was around romance. So somewhere we have put different standards for men performers and women performers. Secondly, for certain performers whose art we were not able to understand. When Bollywood showed it, we understood. But when they performed live, we did not understand because it was an intimate performance. Now that intimate performance, you put that artist on a huge stage of 2,000 people, that artist doesn't know how to connect. They were used to doing a performance in a mehfil, where they could see the reaction of people. So supposing if somebody is nodding their head at a certain ghazal, they would continue it for a little longer time. Now, juxtapose this artist into a big concert hall where the audience is dark and the artist is lost. So even few performers who continued performing gradually became lost because they couldn't see the audience. If you go in a concert hall today, the audience is pitch dark. But nobody thought of that small thing, put light in the audience, let them sing. Small things which would have made them comfortable, which would have let the art form survive even today. How am I able to say that? If somebody had not kept it alive for 500 years, for me to be able to perform. So I feel that somewhere that other narrative is very important. It's not that arts is just a hobby. Art is the only thing that touches your whole life. It has that power. Sit in a concert hall, lights are dim, an artist is performing, you're defenseless at that point of time. That artist can actually do anything to you. That is the power of art. And that is the power that we need to keep alive. I may say that I'm in Lucknow, which actually was the hallmark city for art and culture. And this was where, the great finesse came up, which every fashion designer today is copying and minting money, was because of these tawayafs who were fashionistas of their times. They were film stars, they were fashionistas, they were performers, artists, and most of the time poets, all rolled into one woman. That was their credibility. That was how incredible these women were. Nawab Sahib Rampur, who had written compositions. So there are headings in that. So one is titled Geet, one is titled Ghazal, one is Thumri, one is Chaubara, one is Mujra. So there's a set of poetry which was performed. But today, because we do not know that meaning, we only know a certain meaning which we associate with a certain stigma. And we have not let it go. We have not even tried to talk about it. Because again, it becomes, a lot of gender issue into it. Agreed, it is there. I openly say it, that it's very easy to say that a person is a ustad, but this is only a dancer. Ustad or a guru. So, we have that male dominance and we are not letting it go. I have no clue why. Because when we talk about, empowerment and women going here and there, we're not even looking into it. We still go back and say, oh, Guruji or Ustad to would be only men. Women cannot be Guruji and Ustad. Why? They were equal performers and at times better than their male counterparts. So these are our own histories, not very old that you cannot find. They are very recent histories where we have sort of deliberately let an art form die, not for want of patronage, but for want of a social standing. Stigmatizing those women, not letting them perform, telling them they were not worth it. It is a horrible life for an artist to live, to be told that your art is not worth it. And then people like me take it to some 30 countries and say, oh, it's very worth it. So we must find ways to bridge a today's dancer with the erstwhile courtesan and bring them on a similar platform of respectability. Why? Question. Why we are thinking this? question, 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 and you will realize that you were thinking was wrong. You were not right in what you were thinking. So I leave with this. Thank you.